we're going to make a simple set of cufflinks. They can be almost anything. I'm using two 6-pence coins, which are 19 mil in diameter. You could use dragonflies, you could use shells, you could do a bezel set cabochon. So since this is simple, we're going to make 4 jump rings, 2.3 diameter, and that's the shank of our drill that we use in our Fordham handpiece. They're always 2.3 mil, and we'll use the cordless drill. And I just turned the drill so that the drill bit is down inside. And the shank is sticking out. Then I just stick the wire down in the chuck, bend it 90 degrees. And I always make more than I need. You can just slide it off and you're ready to cut. So we just need 4 of those, and we need 2 that are 6 millimeter in diameter. And the old knitting needle, same thing. You just chuck it up. These cordless drills are so cheap these days that it really doesn't make sense to do this by hand anymore. So we just stick that in, bend it 90 degrees. Now I only need 2 of these, but you can see that basically I've got everything I need here. Now we need to cut our jump rings, and this is a little trick one of my students taught me. There's the drill hole in the end of my bench peg that's the same size as the wire, and we always have this tag on the end when we've made our jump rings. So she just slides that down in like that, and that way it holds. I'll zoom in so you can see. And so there's just drill a hole in the end of your bench peg, and if you slide your coil in, then it's quite easy to hold it while you saw. Basically it holds itself, and then when you get down to the last couple jump rings, you can hold it in your parallel jaw pliers. Very handy. Now for the backing, or the bit that goes on the inside of your cuff, I'm using 2.5 square wire, 18.5 millimeters long. And the reason I'm doing 18.5 is I've measured some commercial findings, and that is the length of the bar, so somewhere around 19. And I had the square wire. It could be round, it could be a disc, as long as the disc goes through the buttonhole fairly easily. And I measured my shirts and they're about 12 mil. And I would normally just punch out a small disc, except that my disc cutters are either too small or too large. So I'm going to use a bar for the back. And frankly, I think it'll be easier. So 2 pieces, 19 mil long. So this is everything we need. Our 2 large jump rings, 4 small jump rings, 2 pieces of square wire, 19 mil long, 2 coins. Now we're going to close the join on the small jump rings. Use your parallel jaw pliers get the join nice and close. Then hold it joint up in your parallel jaw pliers and file a flat. Number 2 cut flat hand file. About half the diameter of the wire. Then we're going to solder that onto the back of this, and then we'll solder another one in the middle of our bar. Now I put a texture mark on my coin so that I could have my little jump ring aligned the way that I want. Like that. When you start to heat this, the texture will just come off. So what we have to make sure is the jump ring is touching the coin. Then mix up your flux. Put a spot there. And rest a piece of hard solder right against the coin and the jump ring. So light your torch, put your nice neutral flame, and I have the solder over on this side, and I'm going to heat from this side so that when the solder flows, it'll flow right through. Now I'm just going to gently hold pressure with my solder pick down on the third hand to make sure that the jump ring is touching. So just heat the coin, and there I could see that it flowed through. Now do the other coin and do your back bar. Now these I'm going to pick solder just because it's easier. So you can see I've got the jump ring sitting on the bar. So there. Do both of those. Quench and pickle. Now close both of your big jump rings and solder them separately. Now the reason I soldered the big jump rings is I'm going to make them oval, and I want the join to be at the very end. Now I have external jump ring pliers that when you squeeze them they open. You can buy those at any automotive parts store, and you can see how easy it is. So do both of these. If you have a good solder join, it's no drama. If you have a dodgy solder join, it'll break. And pickle these. Take everything out of the pickle. Look at your solder joins. Make sure you can see that nice curve on everything. File and sand the ends of these so they're more aesthetic. They're kind of rough at the moment. Hallmark these, and it's quite easy to just hallmark that on the side. Then take your oval jump rings, hold them in your parallel jaw pliers, and saw at your old join. So just brace it against your bench peg. So open it, you can use your pliers. Open it sideways. Assemble the two. Close it again with your pliers. Make sure you get the join perfect. Take your time. Hold this in your third hand and solder it with a tiny piece of hard solder. And that is your cuff length. Now when you're filing the end of your crossbar, you can either make it flat-sided or rounded. It's up to you. I kind of like the little flat facets. While I'm waiting for those to pickle, I can tell you the rest of the story. You can buy commercial findings fairly inexpensively, and what you do is you solder these little bunny ears on, and then you just rivet through that with your piece here. And it's nice, it's beautiful, but it's not handmade. So it's up to you. I do a little bit of each, but I actually prefer handmade. So as soon as those come out of the pickle, we'll polish them, and then I'll finish. Now when you're doing your homework for cufflinks, remember that a proper dress shirt has 4 layers that the link has to go through. Now this is just a regular old shirt, so the buttonhole has to be big enough for the bar to go through, and the bar has to be big enough that when it's on the back, it won't just fall through. So there's our cuff link. Ciao.